Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Parent Zone, right here on our Kidspace channel. Now, we are discussing topics that are interesting, topics that are beneficial to you, our parents, and beneficial to your children. Now, last time we had quite a good discussion discussing homeschooling, and today we will be focusing on nutrition. Now, to have this discussion with me, we have Sister Denise Drummond. Say hello.
Good morning.
All right, now she is a health specialist and will be helping us in today's discussion. We also have with us Sister Delia Johnson.
Hey everyone.
All right, and she is a Kidspacer's parent. And of course, we have with us our resident Kidspacer, Asherelle Johnson. Welcome, Asherelle.
Hello.
Hello. Now, I'm quite excited to have this discussion with this group of people, and especially with Asherelle, because one, we are going to discuss nutrition and food. And I can vividly remember that Asherelle was on an episode of Kidspace Kitchen, right? An episode that we've done here. And she gave her opinion on food, the taste of food, some vegan food. And you know, that episode is really entrenched in my mind. And it just really shows the heart of a child. If you want to watch episode everyone, just please go back on our channel and you will see our Kidspace Kitchen. Now, as I said before, that we will be discussing nutrition. And I know for a fact that nutrition is very, very important as it relates to the physical development of our children. And for me also, it also takes into the mental and the spiritual development of our children as well. But I want to start off with you, Sister Denise. Tell me, what is nutrition?
All right, so nutrition is the study of food and how the body utilizes it for growth and development. In a nutshell.
All right, in a nutshell. Yeah. So, study of food, how the body uses nutrition for growth and development. Now, I want to ask you, is there a proper way to nourish your family, or a proper way, or an improper way to do so? Yes or no?
Yes, there are important ways in which we can have proper nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically a way for having a healthy diet. Most persons will call it a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the Caribbean food group, which is specifically for the Caribbean itself. And we also have food groups in general. So for the Caribbean food groups, we'll have our staples or legumes or fruits or vegetables, our water. So these will help us now to provide ways and a balanced way to create our food when we actually go to eat at any point in time.
All right, thank you so much for that. So Delia, I want to come to you. From your point of view, what do you think entails or constitutes proper nutrition?
Okay, so my family and I, we have a plant-based diet, and what we consume is fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and we have to ensure that we pair them in the correct way in order for those nutrition to be absorbed in our bodies.
All right, thank you so much. That is very important. I'm going to come back to that point also later about pairing the different food and nutrients to ensure that there is a balanced diet. But I want to come to you back, Sister Denise. Why do you think that proper nutrition is important, especially as it relates to the development of a child?
All right, so this helps with, let's say, growth and development. It helps with the skin, the nails, the hair. When it comes on to development, it aids with academic performance. Will also help to aid with or various health conditions that may arise. So when we give our children proper nutrition, it helps to alleviate some of these issues or diseases that may arise due to the lack.
All right, good. So I want to get this now. As a health specialist, what is one food item that you would not recommend that parents added to the diet of their children, especially in those formative years?
All right, what is one food item? I would say sugar.
Mhm.
Sugar is one of the food items that has been very detrimental to us as individuals, as children,
Mhm.
because it tends to increase our risk for obesity, for dental caries, and even hyperactivity.
No, thank you for that. No, I want to just bounce on that whole idea of sugar. Now, I do know that there have currently been 2 cases in which there has been some study on what sugar is currently doing to our children. Currently, on an international level, there's actually a case with the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, for a baby formula company that produce baby formula. So what they do is that they put sugar in the formulas for some countries, and then in other countries they don't put the sugar in it. So there's a case that's currently happening. But here locally, there has been a crackdown on the sugary items that are in our children's food, the sodas, and all of those things that they take at school, right, by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. So I want you to explain a little bit more on the harmful effects of sugar on a child's development.
All right, so the harmful effects of sugar on a child's development. All right, for one, it does affect academic performance. Increases their risk of hyperactivity, because as children, they do have a limit to the amount of sugar that they need to intake per day. So when this now has exceeded, then you're gonna have disturbance. So for example, they are at lunch and they're gonna intake the sodas and the chips. When that bell ends, especially if they don't get the chance to run it off,
Yeah,
when the child enters classroom, it's gonna be chaos.
it's going to be chaos.
It's gonna be chaos because one, they didn't get a chance to burn off all that excess sugar.
Yeah,
So therefore, they're sitting there. After 5 minutes or so, they become attention. The attention span has lost its way.
wow, thank you so much for informing us on that. And just you mentioned earlier that there may lead to obesity and all of those things as well. And I want to get to you, Sister Delia. What methods do you use to ensure that Miss Ashura, especially when she's going to school, that she keeps away from those sugary snacks and so forth?
Okay, so we educate her on the harmful effects of sugar. And earlier, when she was younger, we did not introduce sweets to her, candies. So she is not accustomed to it. I'm not saying she has never tasted it, but she's not accustomed to it. So she is aware of it. So a lot of the times when persons crave sugar, they tend to need fruits. So a lot of persons are not aware of that. So when she has sufficient fruits, we send fruits to school with her, and she consumes the fruits and consumes the water, and it helps a lot.
Nice. That's quite interesting. I love that. So she has exposure to it, but she was firstly not introduced to sugars, sweets, and so forth in her early years. Now,
Exactly.
I know that we may have a lot of aunties and uncles that they may go over to, and they want to let them feel nice, and they may introduce a little sweet here and there. The grandma might give a little sweet here and there. And we want to ensure that not only are our children informed to say, thank you, but I can't have that. So I'll be respectful, but they're actually aware of what they should be eating and what they should not be eating. So thank you. That's very important. Teaching a child from early, not introducing those snacks and sweets from early. Now, we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will be talking about a special diet, that is the vegan vegetarianism. And we will be starting that segment with our dear Asherah. We'll be right back.
For all your events, such as educational forums, workshops, book launches, weddings, and more, contact Noreen Daly, the ultimate MC and event host. Visit noreendaly.com or follow her on Instagram at NoreenDailyJam. Noreen Daly, creating long-lasting memories.
Welcome back to Parent Zone, right here on our Kidspace channel. Now, today we have been discussing nutrition and its importance on our children's development. Now, of course, we have with us today Sister Delia Johnson, Sister Danisha Drummond, and of course, Asherah Johnson, helping us with this discussion. And I want to start off this segment with Asherah. Now, Asherah, I'm going to have you choose from one of three options, all right?
Okay.
All right, so here they are. Option A, what would you rather? Would you rather that mommy prepares a meal that is very healthy, but doesn't taste so well? Or option B, she prepares a healthy meal, right? Well, she prepares a tasty meal, I should say, but that tasty meal is not so healthy. Or would you choose option C, that mommy prepares a healthy meal that is very tasty? Which one would you rather?
C.
The C, so that's preparing a healthy meal that is also tasty, right? Yeah. All right, and why would you select that option, Asherah?
Because if I pick the first one, I will not eat all.
You're gonna eat all of it, doesn't taste so well? All right, thank you so much, Asherah. And tell me, Asherah, what is the tastiest meal that mommy has prepared for you?
So she prepares for me nuggets, rice, and pear.
Rice and pear, rice and pear. I love that combination, you know. I love pear. Anybody here else loves pear? I see Sister Donnie, she's not shaking her head. That's okay, that's okay. I really love pear. Thank you so much for that, Asherah. So I did say that at the start of this segment, we will be discussing the special diet. All right, veganism, vegetarianism. So I firstly want to start off with you again, Sister Danish. Just give us a definition of a vegetarian/vegan diet, if there is a difference between the two, and how it differs from the regular diets that we're used to.
All right. Let me go first to the vegan.
Yeah.
Now, a vegan is a person who only eats plant-based food, strictly plant-based. Now, there are different types of vegetarians. We have the fructo-vegetarian, there's lacto-ovo, you have lacto. Now, the fructo is the person who mainly consumes fruits as their main part of their diet. The lacto-ovo is a person who consumes dairy products and egg, and then we have the lacto, which is just dairy products and the plant-based meals. So that's why there is a difference between the vegan
And the vegetarian.
and the vegetarian.
All right. And amongst those, what's the difference between the vegan vegetarian diet and the regular diet that we're used to, especially in Jamaica?
So for the regular diet, it will be in addition to everything else, fruits, vegetables, grains, and nuts will be foods from animals. We actually consume food from animals.
Animals. All right, good. So Delia, I want to move over to you with a specific question. Why did you, tell us why you became a vegan? Tell us about that journey.
I used to consume meat and dairy products. Then I started studying a little deeper, and I started studying the 300s message. In Revelation 14, verse 7, it says, "Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come." So I started analyzing what that means. And in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, I think it's 10:31 says, whatever we eat, whatever we drink, whatever we do, we should give all to the glory of God. So I'm saying whatever I am consuming, whatever I'm putting in my body, it should give God glory. I should not be putting in things in my body that I know can cause me to be sick and so forth, not operate the best way possible. So we started the journey of, eliminating some things from our diet. So we started eliminating chicken and beef and so forth, and we were still consuming fish and dairy products. Then eventually we cut that out of our diet after we have transitioned. And now we're just consuming plant-based, and I'm okay with it.
Okay with it.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting fact that you just brought out, especially studying the Bible, as you said. I can specifically remember in the book of Leviticus, where it actually, after God gave the instructions to the Israelites of what they should consume and all those things, he mentioned to them that is for their health, but he also mentioned to them that is that they should become, so that they can become holy as well. So there is a connection there between what is being ate and our spiritual well-being as well. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sister Delia.
And I want to add that it's okay, clean meat, God gave us clean meat. However, at this point in time, what they are feeding the animals on, it is not healthy. So when we consume it, we become sick. So that's my reason. So persons are allowed to eat clean meat, but I made a choice, my family made a choice because of what they're feeding the animals on these days.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Johnson. Now, discussing vegetarian veganism, I do know that there are a few challenges with the diet. And one of those that have been brought up by people is that, hey, in a vegan diet, you may not get all the nutrients that are needed or in the correct proportion. You earlier mentioned the Caribbean food group chart. And as you said before, that it acts as a guide in preparing meals so we can eat healthy. Now, within that recommendation, of course, is the legumes, the fats and the oils, the fruits and the vegetables, the staples, but also the food from animal group. All right. Now, I want to start off with you, Sister Danish. I want you to discuss with us, a little of the challenges that a vegan diet may actually encounter, and then 2, how can persons who are on those diets account for the missing nutrients, for example, the protein and the B12 and so forth? How can they account for those in their diets?
All right, so what are some of the challenges?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for sure we know that there is a vitamin B12 lack, mainly because of this is really, they gain that from the food from animals.
Mm-hmm.
But in relation to getting that corrected, they can actually still do their mixes. So I'm basically answering both questions in one. So you can actually mix your peas and beans so that you can get, it's called complementary protein. So once you do your mixes, it's actually complementing each other. So you mix your red beans with your garbanzo beans or your gungo, mixing them so you can get a better variety. And color and creativity is also important.
for the children.
especially for the children. So,
Yes.
yes. So when you do that mix, it really does bring out. Sometimes they say we eat with our eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you see the colors coming out,
Mhm.
you actually enjoy your meals even
Yes,
better.
yes.
So it helps with that.
All right.
Any other thing, deficiency we may have to intake a high fiber diet.
Mhm.
Most vegans seem to do that because of what is provided. So the only solution that I can see towards that is to reduce your fiber. So instead of, for example, eating the whole apple with the core and all, then you may have to peel it.
Mhm.
Instead of eating like the raw peanut, you may can consider to parch it, to help to break down the protein so it can be digested a little bit more. Because especially in children, we tend to maybe think that because they say they start eating something, they're full, and we think that,
Yeah.
they are really full because of what you gave them. But in children, in fact, maybe they have not even gotten the total calorie intake that they actually need for that time period.
Mhm.
So we have to maybe consider giving them fruit juice, or to blend, or to even peel the fruit so that they get everything that they need to get without having that fullness so quickly.
Mhm.
Alright, so for example, let me just say, so my boys love dumpling.
Yes.
Alright?
I love dumplings.
They love, they love dumplings. They eat all three. So what I tend to do, what I try to do for today, this morning, I didn't prepare any dumpling at all.
Mhm.
So what I did, I cooked yam, banana, Irish, sweet potato. So I tend to give them an Irish, or half of Irish, half of a yam, a slice of yam, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I eliminate dumpling in a whole. So they will eat that and still be full.
Yes.
Instead of eating the two dumplings and telling me that they're full. So variety is key.
The variety is,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you so much for that, Sister Danish. I want to come over to you, Sir Delia, on that same idea of there being a deficiency in the vegan diet. How, from your perspective of actually being a vegan, can you account for those additional nutrients that are actually missing or needed in that vegan diet?
Okay, the one that I'm aware of is B12, and there are supplements, and also when a person wakes in the morning, if they consume water before brushing, then they will also get B12. So that is the one that I'm aware of. Yes.
So vitamin B12, and so far we've been given some practical examples for how we can incorporate those additional or missing nutrients from a vegan diet. So I want to stick with you, Sister Sedelia. Now, in light of Asher's choice earlier of choosing meals that are healthy but also tasty, how do you ensure that in preparing meals for her, that your meals are healthy, nutritious, and tasty?
Okay. For children, you have to make it appealing to the eyes. So it has to be colorful.
Yes.
First. And on top of it, what we do, we still use the seasonings that we would normally use. So in preparing the plant-based diet meals, we would use those same seasonings, so it has a similar taste. So we ensure that we do that and it becomes appetizing, and the children will want to eat it.
Eat it. All right. Good. Thank you so much for that, Sister Delia. Now, as I did, I began the segment with Asherel, and I want to end with Asherel on this segment. Asherel, now I know that you go to school, right? And at school, there may be children who have different type of snacks, the sugary snacks and so forth. And there also may be children who carry meat-based lunch to school. I want to hear from you. Which do you think is healthier? The vegan lunch that mommy prepares for you, or the sugary or the meat-based snacks that the students have at school? Some students have at school.
The food that my mommy cooks for me.
The food that one cooks for you? All right. And why do you think that is healthier?
Because it has nutrients and vitamins, but the food that the children carry, it doesn't have any nutrients or vitamins.
And that is very important. Thank you so much. A wonderful answer, Ashwell. That is so important because, some of those snacks, especially the sugary snacks and salt, that's all they contain, sugar and salt. And we don't want our children to be having those. So I'm going to ask one last question to Ashwell, actually. Ashwell, if there was one food that you could carry to school to share with everyone at school, what would that food be? Fruits. Excellent answer. Fruits. We know that fruits are very healthy, as we are discussing it here today. A healthy choice indeed. So we are going to take our final break, and we will get back as we try to wrap up this discussion, discussing nutrition and its importance in the development of our children. We'll be right back.
Let's go! Mummies and daddies, do you want to save space for your children to learn more about God? Then join us on Kidspace!
Yes, boys and girls, mommies and daddies, join us for story time. Discover more and explore more. And don't forget our Kidspace Kitchen with Auntie Patrice. Log on to our YouTube channel today. It's Kidspace, where we bring you inspiration from our space to your space.
Welcome back to Parents Zone. We have been having an interactive and informative discussion with our guests as it relates to nutrition and its importance in the development of our children. Thank you so much for staying with me as we have this discussion, Sister Johnson, Sister German, and of course, Asherel. Now, in this last segment, I just want to ask a few questions just to provide some form of advice as it relates to parents out there who are interested in what we're talking about, providing proper nutrition for their children, and persons who want to take on that vegetarian or vegan lifestyle. So I'm going to start with you, Sister Denise. Tell me, what would be your advice for parents who are having a challenge to prepare balanced and nutritious meals for their children?
All right, advice. All right, so they can seek information. That is one of for sure. You have to know exactly what you want and speak to other individuals who you may think that are in the lifestyle that which you prefer. Also, be creative. Be creative.
All right. And for both of you, for those parents who are having a challenge of making that switch to a vegan diet, what would be your recommendation as their first step? Mr. Johnson?
Okay. The thing is, people transition in different ways. There are some persons who would drop everything and go straight plant-based, while some persons would transition into it. So for those persons who are transitioning into it, it's easier to do tofu and those kind of things that reminds them of meat. And eventually they would move on to the peas and the beans and so forth. So that's one of the recommendations.
All right. And tell me, what does a typical lunch looks like, per se, for Asherel on any given school day?
Okay, so I ensure that I put things in there that she likes. So I know she likes plantains, I know that she likes avocado, and things like those. So if I am preparing a meal for her, let's say I'm going to put yam potatoes and let's say chickpea, I ensure that maybe plantain is there with it, as well as vegetables that she likes. And I would encourage her, when it's vegetables that she doesn't really like, I encourage her to pair it, to eat it with the things that she likes. Get rid of it first, and then she continue with her meals, and I think that worked.
All right. So, and last then, has this vegan lifestyle, would you say there are any regrets, or has it been a rewarding journey?
Definitely rewarding. For sure, I would have seen where immune system is better, or immune system, and I know a plant-based diet is very good with the colon. So, and that's where most diseases start. So, so that helps with the warding off of diseases and so forth. And it gives a clear mind compared to persons who consume meat at times. What it does, when you're studying and so forth, it's a clear, your mind feels a little clearer. I can compare both. So understanding of what you're reading and so forth is better.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Sister Johnson. Very informative, and we are very thankful for this discussion that we've had, Sister Joman. Thank you so much. Asherel, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very thankful, and I'm quite sure that our parents online are very thankful for this informative discussion that we have had. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, go ahead, like this video, and share with us your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you think about nutrition and its importance. And remember to share this video with someone. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to our Kidspace channel for updates and new episodes of Parent Zone. Until next time, bye everyone.